So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Like I said, if you have any questions, do it in the chat box and we will go from there. And I'm trying to keep track of anybody that's going to join, that joins later. Okay. So the reason why I wanted to go ahead and get all of us together to have this club manager meeting was to go over pretty much the 4-H year and how it's going to go from here on out. We've had a lot of changes, not being able to meet in person, and as all of you all know, 4-H, that's how we thrive, is by meeting in person, by kids doing things hands-on, you know, by gathering, by going places, traveling. So this is going to be very, very different for the kids, and I'm sure it's going to be tough for them as well. And I'm pretty sure a lot of them are disappointed in the fact that, you know, all of this is even happening to begin with, and they're unable to do the things that they normally do. So a couple of things I wanted to touch on in our meeting today was, of course, 4-H Online. 4-H Connect is now 4-H Online, and I know some of you have already gone on and logged on and played with it, which is good. Others of you haven't, which that's fine as well. But I will tell you it does look different. It's gonna be some getting used to, but it is supposed to be a more user-friendly system, which, you know, at this point I have been messing around with it, and it is pretty simple. It's just a matter of learning it. And then we're also gonna go over the year, you know, how it's gonna look for the rest of the year and what it is that we need to keep in mind for planning. So, of course, meetings during COVID, the thing that we want you all to keep in mind is, you know, try and have a positive attitude as far as when you are meeting with your kids and your volunteers, your members that are adults. Try and kind of get in front of everything by scheduling meetings virtually. I recommend as of right now that if you are, for your meetings, to keep them virtual. I don't think it's the best thing right now to try and gather. You know, we are right now, I have been keeping up with the case numbers in Cameron County, and they are down, which is a good thing. You know, we are averaging around 80 to 150 cases a day, which is not bad. However, we would rather the cases be 0. So knowing that we are still getting active cases of COVID at the moment, I believe it's in our best interest of us and the kids to just go ahead and try and do everything virtually. Try to keep everything as virtual as possible. And if any of you all have any issues or need help setting up a virtual meeting, please feel free to reach out to me and we can get one started for you. Marco, right now, he does have a Zoom account that he is paying for. Therefore, it has more of the perks than a basic account does. And we are sharing that account right now. So that is why it shows his name as me talking. So if you all need to use the Zoom account for some reason and you would like to use ours, let me know and I can set the meeting up for you on our end, and I will provide you the link to provide to your members. So if you need help with any of that, like I said, just let me know. And also if you need to set up a meeting on on MS Teams or Google Teams, we can do that as well. So, I'm sorry, Microsoft Teams. We can do that as well. I have access to that as with AgriLife Extension. That's the one we normally use. So I do have access to that, and that one is free. So if you, like I said, if you need help setting up with that, just let me know. And one thing to keep in mind with these virtual meetings is to try and be as engaging as you can with your officers and your members. I know that can be tough because, you know, we want to open up in a computer, we're looking at the screen, and, you know, kids get on their phones, they start doing other things, they're not necessarily paying attention. So if there's a way you can try and keep your meetings engaged for the kids to kind of, you know, get them talking about their projects, get them talking about what they would like to do, you know, for this upcoming 4-H year. And, you know, it's good to keep them engaged so they can be paying attention to what it is you're talking about in your meetings. And also, as far as if you are having face-to-face meetings, which, you know, that is a possibility for you all, but like I said, it's not something that I necessarily recommend unless your club is very small and you believe that you all can practice your social distancing, wear masks, wash your hands, all of that, then, you know, go ahead and go for it. Just please have communication with me on that, just so I know. And keep in mind the safety of your members. So again, face-to-face meetings, you know, keep in mind on where you're going to have it. If you can, try and have it outside. You know, if you're going to have it maybe someone's backyard, you know, could space some chairs out there, make sure people are keeping their distance from each other, you know, families stay together, and everyone wear their masks as well, just so that way we can try and be as safe as possible. I did email out some paperwork that I got from, that I was sent from, that Luis sent me regarding the guidelines as far as that AgriLife sent out, that extension sent out in regards to gatherings. So there are a max of 50 people and less than 50% occupancy, and you must social distance. So like I said, this is what they recommend and what is recommended as far as the guidelines that we follow. However, whatever the county has in place, that will take over this. So right now it does say a max of 50 people. However, I want to say the county, they issued 10 or less people on gatherings, and they have extended that. I don't believe I've heard anything different just yet, but they still have it as 10 or less people. So for those of you that are on your club members are 10 or more people. So, you know, I am not expecting you all to be meeting in person for that reason. And if you do, you know, it's completely up to you all as club managers how you want to handle that. But please remember, you know, face coverings, cleaning before and after, monitoring locally the county, how we're doing with our cases, those that are attending your meetings, where are they coming from, and whether they've been out and about. You know, you just never know where other people have been. And of course, we do have a COVID-19 screening form that was also in the email that I forwarded from Luis. That would be something that you would need to use if you are to gather, just to kind of protect yourselves that that individual is saying, you know, they are not exhibiting the COVID symptoms. Have masks on hand in case anyone shows up and doesn't have one, which hopefully that's not the case. But if you're able to have any masks on you to be able to give to those that need it, that would be best. We do have some at the office as well. We don't have a lot, but we do have some at the office if you all do need some for any kind of gathering that you all will have. Also, I know some meetings, there's food and refreshments. Of course, with COVID-19, we do not recommend that you provide any snacks, meals, or refreshments to the kids, because we don't want everybody, you know, touching the same place and risk of somebody catching something from someone else. So, and please make sure you communicate with me whenever you all are starting your face-to-face meetings. And of course, like I said, no snacks. And of course, before you meet, make sure that whatever rules you have in place as far as social distancing, masks, all of that, make sure that you relay that to your members. Make sure that you let them know, you know, we will not let you into the building unless you are wearing your mask. Try and have hand sanitizer on hand for them as well. And of course, if you're going to be giving out any kind of paperwork to anybody, try and giving out anything in general to where people are going to be exchanging things with their hands, try and have hand sanitizer right there so that they can hand sanitize before and after grabbing something from you, you know, just so that way we can cover everything and try to cover our bases when it comes to having the good hygienes and, you know, taking care of ourselves. Let's see. Of course, I already went over all of this. This is part of a how do I say it? A PDF that was given to us from the state 4-H office. This is part of it as well. You know, just if anyone in your household is experiencing symptoms of COVID, return home and seek medical advice. Of course, the COVID-19 form. So like I said, anytime that you all are going to be meeting in person, I strongly recommend that you all have each of your members and families fill out one of these forms. If you have any questions on the form or would like for me to resend it to you, let me know and I can go ahead and do that for you. But at this time, like I said, I don't recommend that you meet in person. I believe it's best to do it virtually, and if you need any help setting up that meeting, please let me know. Wear a mask, any other necessary PPE for the activity. PPE supplies, what that means is that's masks, gloves, hand sanitizer, you know, things that are going to be helping you all protect yourselves from COVID. So that's what that means. And if you need any help as far as getting masks or hand sanitizer or gloves, let me know and I'll see what I can do to help you all out with that. And of course, maintaining social distance. So that's another big thing. If you all are going to be gathering, which, you know, I know you all love to do community service and things like that, but try to keep in mind that if you do community service, try and do it to where, you know, the kids are outside and they're able to social distance, or, you know, do it to where kids just either drop off the items at a certain location and then one person gets all of them and take them to where they need to go. You know, try to keep it to where nobody's necessarily gathering in large crowds. And then of course, sanitize hands, surfaces, and equipment. So, you know, you want to make sure everybody is using hand sanitizer or washing their hands, you know, sanitize the area where they were sitting, any equipment they may be touching. We just want to make sure that everybody follows these so that way we can, you know, try to eliminate any way for anyone to be, you know, spreading anything to anybody else. And these are a part of that email I mentioned earlier that I forwarded to you all from Luis. This is part of the guidelines that he sent out that's from the state office, you know, under AgriLife Extension. And like I said, as far as, you know, whatever the county has implemented, that trumps whatever this is. So the county says 10 or less people, so that's what the guideline is for us. This is statewide. So this is statewide what they recommend. However, like I said, whatever the county has in practice or in place, that's the guidelines that we should follow based off of what the judge has said. And does anybody have any questions on the form or anything that I've gone over so far? Okay, I'm going to take that as a no. And again, these are just some illustrations that was provided to us for us to provide to you all, for you all to use if you'd like. Completely up to you whether you want to use these, but this was what was provided to us. And this is another illustration. This is one for, you know, conducting 4-H events during COVID. And this is also going to be what our county office is going to follow as far as any county events that we are going to be having coming up in the fall. It's going to be interesting and we're going to see how it goes, but we're going to try and do it as safely as possible for the kids. Now, apart from that, we are going to cover a little bit of 4-H online. I am going to go ahead and log on too, just so you all can see what the screen looks like. But right now, I'm going to be showing you little screenshots. So this is what 4-H Connect was on the left-hand side. That's what your login used to look like. And then on this right-hand side is going to be the new login. So it's a lot cleaner of a look that it has. And, you know, it's just a little nicer, a little updated on their end. And this screenshot right here is a picture of what your profile will look like once you create it. So I don't know if, trying to see, I don't think y'all can see my mouse, but on here, so as you can see there on the top of the screen, you're going to have the family name, that address. So that's blacked out on this screenshot right here. But you're going to have the family name, address, and then underneath you're going to have the members, and then any programs that they are enrolled in. And then if you look on the left-hand side, that's where you can go ahead and click through to enter as far as any events. You would click events. Well, actually, I'm sorry. And if you have, like, say this person right here, Matthew, say he wanted to sign up for the shooting sports coaches certification as an assistant coach, assistant youth coach. So you would go to the view button next to his profile. And then on there, you would go to events and you can sign him up for an event. This is going to take a lot for you all to, as far as you all just need to click around so you can kind of get acquainted with it and, you know where to go. It is going to take a little bit. I mean, I've been trying to, you know, mess with it and do this and that with it just so I can get acquainted with it myself so I can help you all out. And it does take a little time. So just, you know, be patient and try and keep in mind that we're all going to be learning on this system, and the system does have a couple of glitches here and there. So if you have any issues or you run into any issues once you do start enrolling, go ahead and let me know. And I will also say all clubs are chartered, so you should not have any problems finding your club whenever you do, you know, enroll yourself and your kids on there. And then as far as for you all that are club managers, let me know. We need to go into your profile and put that you're going to be managing a club. And there is a code that I need to provide to you so you can have access to the club profile on 4-H Online. So go ahead and get with me on that whenever it is time, whenever you all do decide to enroll and get that going. And one thing that I do want to stress on the enrollment as well, that as far as for those of you that are volunteers, of course, adults, whenever you do enroll, there are trainings that you need to complete in order for your enrollment to be completed. Right now, I do have a list of adults that they've enrolled, but their trainings they haven't done their trainings. So I can't approve their enrollments because their trainings are pending. So there are 2 trainings that they would need to do. So just keep this in mind whenever you talk to your adult leaders and your adult volunteer members in the club. They need to complete these trainings in order for their enrollment to be completed. So they are going to have a child protection training and a volunteer training. So, and then as soon as there's trainings, there will also be a background check, of course, done. If they've already been enrolled before the previous year, then the background check won't take that long. But on the profile, I don't know if I know for me when I enrolled, it was a little hard to notice the trainings that I needed to do. So just keep in mind that, let them know to keep an eye out for that option to do those trainings, because otherwise they won't be completely enrolled on 4-H Online. So I'm going to show you all on here. Let's see. So 4-H Online. So I do have 2 different profiles on here. So let's see, let me go under. Can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Okay, so this is what I see when I log in as the county administrator on 4-H Online. So this is what I'm going to see. This isn't going to be what you all see when you log in, but I'm going to go and search for my profile that I had created. So I went and searched my last name. Okay, so I am right here. So as you can see, this is somewhat of what we saw in the screenshot. If I go to my profile, so this is what you're going to see whenever you finish making your profile. This is going to be, so right here, you're going to have your members. So, you know, if I had anybody else under my profile, they would be underneath there. Of course, you have the option to add a member. So you can, you know, make your profile, do yours, and then later on you can add everybody else. Right here is the family profile for me. And then as you can see, I have here the option for events. So under that events option, that will be, you know, where I can register for whatever events are being offered at this time. So as you can see, you know, the charter application, there's the shooting sports training, junior master gardener, master photographer workshop, an educational workshop. So this is going to be, you know, where you will find any events that you're eligible to register for. And since you all, let me see. Since all of you all on here are club managers, let me go ahead and show you. So on 4-H Online, I don't know why they refer to clubs as units, but that's what they are referring to them as on here. So for me, when I look on here and if I want to view a list of all of our clubs, I go to our units, and this is going to be all of the clubs that we have. So I'm not sure why, but they refer to them as unit name for some reason. So I have them on here. And as you can see, I have the option I can click on a club. So I'm going to click on this one. And as you can see, there is a leader login code. Under unit details, there's leader login code. So that's going to be the code that I would provide to each of you, depending on what your club is, obviously. But that's going to be the code that I will provide to you, so that way you can go ahead and have access to that club's profile. So that's where you can see the members. That's where you can see any events, you know, anything that's regarding your club members, what projects they're under. This is where you would be able to see it. So you are going to need that leader login code. So whenever you all do go on to register yourself, please let me know, so that way we can go ahead and get that. I can give you that login code so you can have access to it. So I'm going to show you. Let me go back to my profile. So on here, so I'm going to view my member profile. And as you can see, when I click view for my profile, for my member profile, which is, it's going to be me, you know, it's going to be what's under my name. I have all these options over here on the left-hand side. So say I wanted to, let me see. It might not do it on my end because I am, I'm listed as an AgriLife employee, so it might not give me, see, as you can see, I'm I'm an AgriLife Extension employee. So I don't have, and right here, I guess you would see where what clubs you're under. Let me see if I can. Doesn't give me the option. Groups. So right here's the trainings. So you want to make sure that, you know, whoever your adults that are registering on 4-H online, you make sure that they do those trainings. Right here, my trainings are shown as complete. So there's a child protection training and there's a volunteer orientation training. So those would show that they need to be done, and they are required. So the registration will not be completed until those are, and then I can approve those on my end at the county level for them to be completely enrolled. So let me also show you something over here. So I'm going to go back under the county profile. So whenever you do enroll, this is where I'm going to go on my end. I'm going to go here to enrollments. And as you can see, these are the list of people that have already enrolled and have been approved. And I'm going to go here to awaiting review. And these are a list of adults that they're all volunteers, and they submitted their information on 4-H online. But if I go here, this little character that has the little graduation hat, what that means is that they haven't submitted their trainings yet. See, as you can see, it says trainings not completed. So they've done their profile, they did all their information, put in card information to pay for their enrollment fee, but they didn't do their trainings. So it's stuck here. I'm unable to, I can click on it and go all the way to the bottom, and there is an approval button, but it's shaded out because I'm not allowed to touch it or to press that button just yet until those trainings are completed. So I just want to make sure that I, try to verify that they need to complete those trainings. So because I don't want anybody's profiles being stuck and people thinking, oh, but I registered. However, they didn't do their trainings. So I believe that's going to be the biggest thing that's going to stop them from completing their enrollment, or from you not seeing them being enrolled in the club on your end. So do any of y'all have questions on 4-H online that you want me to answer? Then now that you're looking at it on my end, is there anything that you have questions on or just want me to verify? All right, I'm gonna take that as a no, and we're gonna go back to the PowerPoint right here. So another thing that I wanted to touch base on with you all as far as upcoming events that we are, of course, next week, if you don't already know, we are going to have a food show, food challenge training on Tuesday evening. It is going to be virtual, so there is, we don't have the link just yet to send it out. It is going to be via Zoom. And we are going to have, currently we do have somebody from the state that's going to speak on Food Show, Food Challenge, kind of go over the rules, regulations, and any rule changes based off of 2020 and with COVID. And then we're also going to have 2 of our own council officers speak on behalf of Food Show, Food Challenge, their experiences, what they learned. I believe this is going to be a very good training for those that have kids that are interested, so that way they can have an idea of what it's all about. And I will say we are going to have a county food show. We are going to have a county food challenge. However, it's going to look very different. We may have to ask you all to do it virtually, as far as, we'll have, when it comes to food show, we may have the kids present their dish to us virtually over Zoom or Microsoft Teams. And then they will be in front of judges, but virtually. So kind of what we're doing now, except each judge is going to be on a different screen, and the kid's going to be on the other side of the computer talking to them, showing them their dish. You know, we're going to try and keep it, you know, as normal as it would be, except obviously it's going to be done virtually, just to kind of so that way we don't have to have the kids coming into the office, or, you know, those judges that we ask coming in, and that's, you know, somewhat of a gathering. So we're going to try and prevent that as much as possible by doing it virtually. So hopefully that's not too big of an issue. I believe with food show, we should be fine doing that. Food challenge is going to be more of an issue on how we do that. But with food challenge, just so you all have an idea of what we're going to do, one of my recommendations, which this is not for sure yet, but this is what I was thinking as far as how we were going to have food challenge, was we will have those individuals come into the office, probably on a Saturday morning when nobody's really there in the building. So that way the kids aren't interacting with any other persons coming in and out of the building. We may have them just come in at a scheduled time. They'll come in with their box, you know, get themselves situated. We'll time them to get their dishes done. And then from there, we will have the judges virtually come up. We'll provide the computer, obviously, and all of that for them to be judged virtually in front of the judges at that point, and then that team will leave, and then maybe half an hour later another team will come in, and of course us at the extension office, we will sanitize in between as much as we can, but it looks like that might be how we're going to have to do it for a food challenge. But like I said, I mean, that can change at a later point in time, but as of right now, that's what we're thinking of doing. And next week, we are having a project leader training as well on Wednesday evening. Let me check my calendar real quick. Yes, Wednesday evening at 6 p.m. we will be having a project leader training as well. Me and the other 4-H agent, we will be talking about how to have virtual project leader meetings with those kids that are in certain projects, and, you know, what to do, what not to do. And depending on what the project is, you know, kind of tailor the virtual meeting to what it is. So that way, you know, you can still train the kids, and we can still try and get them to learn new things without necessarily having to be there in person, which obviously it's not the best thing, but, you know, we got to do what we got to do and just kind of keep moving forward and do our best. So that's what we're gonna be having these upcoming couple months. We have food show, we have food challenge coming up. We also have our one-day 4-H on October 10th. I will speak to council on how they want to approach the one-day 4-H and how, you know, what we're going to have as our community service project. And we'll get back to you all on that one, and we'll send an email out whenever the kids decide what we should do. But it's going to be very interesting this upcoming 4-H year. Try and have your adult leaders, you know, ask for volunteers if you need help with anything. I know this can be hard, especially virtually, and especially if you're not very technology savvy. This can be very difficult for somebody to adjust. So if you need help with anything, maybe you have an adult volunteer that they're very good when it comes to, you know, virtual meetings. They already do things like that for work, so they're very acquainted with Zoom or whatever system they use. You know, don't be afraid to ask them for help. That's what they're there for. And, you know, in order to make the 4-H program run smoothly, we need to help each other out, especially get each other involved and volunteers and all of that. So like I said, don't be afraid to ask. And let's see. All right, so that is the end of my slideshow on my end. If you all have any other questions on anything that I've covered, please try and stay up to date on, you know, anything in the county related to COVID. Please let me know if and when you all will be gathering for anything, whether it's for any meetings, or for a community service event, or, you know, for a project. If you all need help with anything, please feel free to ask me. I am here to help, and I am here to help our program run as smoothly as possible. So, you know, I'm here to help. Let me know if there's anything you all need, and I will gladly do what I can to make it happen. But please keep in mind, again, those COVID-19 screening forms, if you all are gathering in person or if you're going to at some point, those forms are crucial just to kind of cover our bases if something were to happen and, you know, the kids were to be exposed to somebody who ended up testing positive for COVID at a later time. You know, those forms are very crucial to kind of cover ourselves and cover yourselves and all of that. So COVID-19 forms, please make sure to let me know if you'll be gathering, just so I know what's going on and I can be aware. Please be as safe as possible when it comes to gathering. Wash your hands, wear face masks, socially distance, all of that. Again, 4-H Online, if you all have any questions or need any help with that, let me know. There may be, if you do complete your profile and you forgot to add something and you aren't unable to do it, let me know and I can add that. I know that I've already been reached out by some people that they forgot to add a project to their child's profile. So from what I understand, you all don't have access yet to edit it to be able to add the project, but I can. So like I said, I have a lot more editing ability when it comes to 4-H Online. So if you all need help with anything or need me to fix something on the profile whenever you're done enrolling or when you've already submitted your profile, let me know, and I'm here to go ahead and help with that. Do you all have any questions before we end our meeting?
Hi.
Hi.
I just notated on the chat for La Feria 4-H, as per the school, that since we normally have our meetings there, it's not going to be on campus. So I informed every member that I hope that does return that it's going to be virtual. So today was supposed to be our meeting because it's the second Monday of every month, starting September. But I rescheduled it for tomorrow, and I really wanted to attend this meeting because I really needed to know how to move forward. Because yes, I've been in Zoom meetings for my school district, but I haven't hosted a meeting. So I was like, okay, well, how am I going to go about it? You know, it's going to be more of the parents, and I'm like trying to figure out how am I going to do it with the kids. Like,
yes,
like, and I'm really trying to figure out, like, it's so, like, I have everybody on the thread and I'm messaging and I'm not getting a lot of communication back. I am always positive, but it's just like, how do I, because the kids, like, I have to admit, some of them are shy. It's just like, how, like, am I going to be speaking more often? Because I know that it's really them who run the show. You know, I'm just, we're there as managers to stand behind them.
yes.
But I'm just trying to figure out, like, should I wait to see how the first meeting will be with you, or like, just go for it and then just be tomorrow, let it be an informative meeting,
So what I will say is what worked really good for us, because council, we had a meeting last month already. We did have an August meeting, and of course, I know a lot of you all have scripts that you give the kids to follow. So the important thing is you want to make sure that those kids understand that, yes, we're not meeting in person, you're meeting virtually. However, they still have their parts to play. You know what I mean? The president still needs to be the one doing most of the talking.
Yeah.
They still need to be participating. So one thing that I would recommend is, as far as especially your officers, those officers, they need to have their video on, so that way you can see them, because obviously if they're talking, if they see everyone as blank screens, you know, they don't see faces, and they're less likely to pay attention. So you want to make sure that their video is on, only the people that need to be talking are talking, and that everyone else is muted, so that way there's nobody talking over each other. If you would like to wait on your meeting, you are more than welcome to attend one of our council meetings. Our council meeting is next week on Monday. So if you want to attend the council meeting just to have an idea of how we do it, you're more than welcome to. But I will say the big thing that has helped us with council is, you know, making sure everyone's aware this is still a meeting. The president still needs to say his part. The secretary still needs to take notes. The treasurer still needs to, you know, report the balances. You know, everyone still has their parts to do. And it's important that everybody stay involved in it as well. So I know that can be difficult, and especially for those that, you know, some parents don't know, may not have internet, or aren't able to access getting online. But, you know, like I said, it's important, especially your officers, because your officers are really going to set the pace for the meeting. So you want to make sure that they are aware that this is still a meeting. Yes, it's virtual, but you all still have your parts to play when speaking. And as far as voting goes, you can still, you know, vote as far as, you know, that they have their video, they raise their hand to vote. Or one thing that I did with our council, so that way people don't really see who's voting yes or no, is I have them text me their vote. You know, I have them text me what, you know, yes or no, or who they vote for, things like that. So that's another way you can do it too. But like I said, I know it can be difficult, but you just got to make sure that those kids, I mean, it's kind of like school. I know some school districts are requiring for kids to show themselves on the camera, others aren't, but just make sure that you implement those rules, so that way they know, you know, we're still going to do this. It's just going to be virtually, but you still need to pay attention. You still need to be involved, and we're still going to try and go and carry on as normal as possible.
Thank you. Sounds great. No, I really appreciate that, because like that, this is, well, I mean, I'm sure it's new for everyone, but like with me, but I mean, I know I got it. I talk a lot at work, and I talk in front of a lot of people. So, I mean, I know I got it, and I know, and like it was mentioned in the chat, you know, I need to talk to my officers first, let them know the expectations, get them their paperwork in advance, have them look over everything to be sure, like, okay, when we're ready, we're not going to sound like, what's going on?
Yes, exactly. You're going to make sure everyone's on the same page.
And let me get